because I put on the match Plymouth Albion professional rugby players against a GB side of disabled players. The person who I met, who helped me got these players together, lived in Torquay, but I found that he was playing his home matches in Wrexham because there was nowhere for him to play. So therefore, I decided to start a club. Cardiff is the nearest club at the time. There's no one in Dorset, but it's a long way. So I decided to start one for the West Country and raised £30,000 with my then partner Rob Masters, and got the chairs. Started in the Mayflower Centre with 3 people, and now we're up to 16. And we've moved across to the Life Centre. It was set, wheelchair rugby was set up originally for people who couldn't play wheelchair basketball because they were more seriously disabled. So we try and be a very inclusive club that anybody who comes can play. And the bit about the social and being part of a club or family sort of thing, they've made that. It isn't me that's made it. They've made that by coming along and liking what they see and enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, each one of them brings something to the club, and they're very much their own people, and I can see they've developed through interaction with other people, which they probably would never have had before, and playing a sport, because it's the only contact sport wheelchair users can play. So it gets a lot of the frustrations out of some of them, and they do like the physical side of it, and that is unusual for wheelchair users because obviously they can't do that in any other sport. So they bring as much. I feed off them really. They bring more to it than I do because
I think it's brilliant for helping people with disabilities find other people with disabilities, find friends as well. I've been disabled for a year. It started off being very lonely, but I've come to the club and I've made lots of friends. But also I think it's good for anybody to exercise, and I think that it provides a really good fun way to exercise. At 11, when I fell off a trampoline at school, broke one of my vertebrae, and they operated at the time and I got my walking back, but about 5 years ago I fell again and it set off a big chain of events in my back whereby the vertebrae have all started to overgrow around the nerves in the area, so it's meant that my legs don't work as well as they should do anymore. I think for me it's the 1 hour of a week where I don't feel any pain. I don't think about my disability at all. We're all in the same boat or in the same wheelchairs, I guess, but it's just that 1 hour of a week where I get to be who I am for an hour, who I used to be for an hour, that passion about something that I felt I was lacking when I first got in the wheelchair. You know, I sort of felt life was over, and that although I had my family, there was just something that I could no longer do. And when I found wheelchair rugby, I could do it, and it was brilliant. I was quite depressed before the club. I felt that there was nothing that could be offered to me really. I was still working, but I'd not long got out of hospital for depression, and then found the club, and it just really increased my self-confidence of being who I am in the wheelchair, meeting other people in chairs and disabled. It just gave me a whole new circle of friends when my old circle of friends had sort of deserted me. So yeah, it put me in a good place mentally as well.
I got a nail in my foot, simple as a nail, from a nail in my foot to a bed sore, bed ulcer, mismanagement from our local hospital, which then ended up me having my leg removed and numerous surgeries, and I'm still having, so I've got another one in the middle of next month again, so which hopefully should be the last one. One of my friends told me about it. I was in hospital and they said about there's a wheelchair rugby thing in Plymouth, and I thought, yeah, why not? I'll give it a go. I was very badly depressed. I was suicidal, or I attempted suicide. I had, and I literally found out about it, sent an email to Chris. And the email to Chris came down on the Monday, fell in love with the sport, and it really saved my life. It's such a diverse amount of people. We've all got different disabilities and everything. We're all nice to each other. We can say things to each other which the average person could never say to us because we're disabled. And it's just, we're being normal to each other. It's just great. And it's like we've got a great community outside the rugby, and when we do stuff, and if we want to phone each other up, we cry on each other's shoulders and bits. It's real good. And if we need to speak, we want some advice about something, we phone Chris, and it's real good. Because it's brilliant, because you've got the adrenaline, you've got everything you do, you've got to concentrate, you're on a team, you've got to do stuff as a team. But when you're so stressed and everything else, you can get on that court and we can bash into each other and we're perfectly safe, and we're playing the sport, and I can't put it into words. It just gives you a tingle. It takes out all the stresses of the day, and you look forward to it. It's just real good. Before I was attempting suicide. I didn't want to live. I thought my whole life had fallen apart, and now I've got a reason. Every week I desperately want to be down here. I haven't been able to come down for a month because of other health issues and bits and pieces, but it's given me a place to be, and it just, they don't judge me, because a lot of people, they judge me. I'm transgender. I'm in the process of transition from male to female. I'm not being discriminated about, I'm not being nothing. It's just, everybody knows about me, and it's just, yeah, fine, whatever, that's Stevie. And it's just normal life. We rely on this stuff. We rely on this so much, and if it wasn't for the once a week, we've been trying to we've been doing an odd one during the week, additional training. But a few of us, we've been ill. We get ill, we can try to do stuff, and we use different places between ourselves and get to places, and it's good. But when people see you in a wheelchair, they think, oh, that poor little person. I'm in a wheelchair. I used to be a commercial driver. I've also done lots of different things, and I used to be fit and active. I've never been a small person. I'm like one of the classes, these big rugby players. I've never been small, but I've always been super fit. And when you come down to something like this, people belittle you, and it's real difficult. It is, but when we're all together, it's just great. It's just real good. What we want is our own league, because wheelchair rugby is different classifications, and it's designed for paraplegics. And because I'm just an amputee, we don't have, at the moment, we haven't got a league that we can play in. We just want the club that we can all go up, have a match, instead of having to worry about point systems and regulations and stuff. We just want to go and have fun. That's what it is. It's having fun, and we want to do it. We want to be here and do it. We don't want to have to, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. We don't have to worry about it. We just want to be able to get in the cars. And it is difficult for us to travel to places, because it's not just one person in the chair. You've got to think about travelling, you support workers and everything. It's a big operation for us to all travel to places, but we enjoy it. We look forward to doing it. So I would recommend this to anybody who is disabled. Just give it a go. You can be 6 to 86. It wouldn't make any difference. As long as you can get in a chair and push yourself around, we can put you the ball. It's brilliant. You just go for it. It's just real good fun, and it's a good camaraderie.
I'm in a wheelchair because I've got a condition called myoclonus dystonia, and it affects my muscles and my voice, and I can't walk properly, and I get tired very, very easily. I got talent spotted, I'd say, in my school, because we came out of a club, wheelchair rugby, and Chris came along and invited me up to here, and ever since I've enjoyed it. I think it's really good for like socialising and having fun and be like free. And I've never stuck to a task before. I normally get bored of it like within a month, and this one I've actually continued and gone straight for it.